Alright guys, how's it going? Moto Dragon here again. Yeah, I'm back. Aw, I was hoping I'd wheelie up the thingy, but I did. I'm back out on the beast. Mid-October. As you can see, it's all autumnal. I love this time of year where it's not too cold and it's not too warm. It's what, about 13 degrees? 13 degrees. I always realise every time I change the temperature on the bike, you guys don't see, but it comes up here and I can check the ambient temperature and the bike temperature, but it's still like the ground's pretty cold. This is for the non-subscribers. So before I get into the video, I want to start with a bit of admin. About 70% of you guys who don't watch my videos are not subscribed, which, you know, shame on you. And I know every single one of you, every single one of you guys that watch my videos that aren't subscribed, I know who you are. Connor, Aaron, Seamus, that one girl, Aisling, Peter, Connor. Did I say Connor? I don't know. I probably guessed at least one of your names right, so if I did, you have to subscribe now because I know exactly who you are. That rev bomb in the tunnel was for you, even though the audio or the microphone probably cut the throatiness out. It is for you guys. Man, I haven't been on the bike since Monday and it is now Sunday, but I haven't made a video since like my last video. I just decided, you know what, I wanted this year, I wanted to end the year with about 1,500 subscribers, and I really pushed as hard as I could. Then with COVID, obviously, I tried to make as much content as possible, and I really kind of worked myself like a dog. So I just decided, you know what, f it, I'm just going to put up a video when I want to put up a video for the remainder of this year and just focus on myself because I've been busy in work. You gotta look after Senior Uno, you know. I'm just trying to catch up to the Gorilla Biker because he stole my crown, and I'm very jealous. So I have to overthrow him, which is probably not going to happen, but I gotta try at least, you know. But anyway, enough shit talk out of the way. What I wanted to talk about was actually, and I got this question a few times, and it was, well, what's it like being so young and owning, you know, an MT10, and then also how am I so young owning an MT10? So in the UK and Ireland and a few other European countries, you know, owning bikes isn't as easy as, say, America. And obviously I have to use that lightly because I've personally never owned a bike in America. But a lot of 18, 19-year-olds seem to get, you see them getting R1s and, you know, Gixxer 1000s, all this mad stuff. In Ireland and the UK especially, well, legally you can't even do that. Your license won't even let you. But insurance, yeah, no, you will get no insurance on that bike. So I'm 25, so I'm still very young for someone to have a 1000cc. I know a lot of people my age, even a little bit older, that still can't get insurance. I know people that are, I know a guy who was 36 on his learner license, and they wouldn't insure him on anything like near a sports bike. So like he wanted to get like an R6. That was not happening. They were like, yeah, no, we can't insure you on that. And that's just the shit thing about Ireland. The UK is slightly better because there's a lot more insurance companies, but in Ireland we're really boned. You know, there's not many insurance companies, and all of the insurance companies we have are pretty much underwritten by the same crowd. Oh my god, all the cars for the park, even though it's the mid of a pandemic. But you know what, we're gonna get everyone together and go to a fucking park. Good job, guys. Great parenting. And not to mention that they're all back in school, so they're all touching off each other. That's stupid. So stupid. In Ireland we're actually slipping. Anyway, that's a different video, and I'm not even going to do a video on that. But yeah, well, I'm going to run through some costs and kind of practicality stuff on what's it like expense-wise running and owning a 1000cc, and then also being so young. So these bikes aren't actually that expensive. You're going to go like... brand new in Ireland, I think this one's about 14,000 euro, which, you know, is a lot of money for a bike, and especially someone in their 20s, it's a lot of money. But in the grand scheme of things, it's really not that much. So I bought my one, it's a 2018, I bought it at the end of 2019, and it cost me about 9,500 euro. And then because of lovely rip-off Ireland, I had to get it VRT'd. So basically I had to get it from English plates, because I bought it in the UK, from English plates to Irish plates, and that cost me a lovely €1,100 on top of the price of the Beast, which is a pain in the fucking hole because it just adds more money. Now it's still a lot cheaper than they actually go for in Ireland, so I'm not going to get into the whole buying from the UK and all that stuff, because that is a completely separate video. But a lot of people in Ireland will buy from the UK because bikes are so much cheaper there, and even when you include VRT, it works out a lot cheaper. Just rip off Ireland at its finest. So the bike cost me about 10.5 all in, give or take, which is, you know, it's a lot of money, but it's still a lot cheaper than in Ireland than we actually sell them for. 2017s go for about 11.5 grand here. The big question is insurance, because as I said, a lot of people that I know that are older than me just don't get insured on bikes like this. You know, it was even a struggle for me getting insured on my R6, and my ZX6R was actually really hard to get insured on. They didn't want to insure me on it for whatever. I have full cover, so fully comp insurance, and I have 6 years no claims. So, you know, I haven't claimed in 6 years. Well, I've been driving for 6 years, so that's how I have them. And, you know, I don't know what way they do them in other countries apart from Ireland and the UK, but, you know, for every year we are insured and don't claim, we get a year no claims, which really reduces our insurance. Like, so to put it into perspective, my insurance for full insurance is €1,500. That's with a 40% discount because of my no claims, which is just kind of ridiculous. So yeah, €1,500 for my insurance on my own policy, obviously no one else on it, no accidents, no claims. So obviously I had the off on this bike, and honestly, actually, like, the issue with this bike is that it's not a good crasher, and everything's just so plasticky. The damage looked so bad, and then when it was all stripped and all the bad stuff was off, I was like, okay, it's not actually, you know, too bad. But yeah, so I didn't go through my insurance. I just paid with my own money, because in Ireland, and I'd assume it's pretty much every other country, if you make a claim, they're going to restrict what you can actually get insured on. So if I put in a claim for this bike, I would probably never get insured on 1,000 again. And I say I'd be stuck on like a 125 for the next few years. So I had to think of like my future costs and how it would affect me in the future, and I was like, you know, I'm better off just putting my own money in. So I actually had the money set aside to fix this. I was going to buy a track bike, so I had the money there for, you know, to fix the majority of the stuff, which is fixed. Thankfully, it's a few little panels that need to be fixed, like this one, but, you know, it's not a big deal. I'll fix that eventually. I don't plan on selling this bike. Actually, as well, just we're on the topic of this bike, this bike's now like a year old, so I've owned it for a year, which is like the longest I've owned a bike, and I plan on keeping it. I don't plan on getting rid of it anytime soon. I really love this bike. It's amazing. But anyway, so yeah, 1,500 quid for my insurance, which some say isn't too bad, but for riding for 6 years, mind you, a few years ago my insurance was €300 on my Hornet 600. You know, that's a big difference. That's a huge amount of money. And then the issue with full insurance is that I can claim, you know, for my own damages, which I was perfectly able to do for my accident, but then it affects you for, you know, the next few years. So to me, fully comp when you're young isn't actually worth maintenance and all that stuff on the bike. So as I said, this bike doesn't crash well, and, you know, a lot of people, thankfully, and hopefully I wasn't one of them people, but shut up, shit happens. You know, you're not going to find that out, but they don't crash well. The plastics are really cheap on this bike, and, you know, everything broke that could broke. Was that right English? Everything that broke did broke. Everything that could broke did break. Oh god, I'm brain farting. And then the OEM plastics are stupid money. This little panel is €200, which goes from here down to here. This little intake cover is €200. So it's like, where do they get their money? So obviously I need a new one of this, I needed a new one of these, I need a new one of these, and I have a crack in the top of my new one. I think it was a can of Monster or something like just here, and I moved the handlebar and yeah, it cracked the plastic. That's how shit it is, because I pressed it in with the handlebar. Yeah, little farty bits in this bike are really expensive OEM wise, but they're, you know, they're not ready to do it, mate. Completely honest, I bought this bike with I think about 7,000 kilometers on it, and it now has, you know, 11,000. So I haven't ridden it that much in a year that I've on it. Like, that's crazy to me. You know, normally I'd put 20,000 kilometers on a bike in a year, but because I'm not riding it anymore, because one, I'm working from home, you know, that's because of COVID, but then because I didn't have to commute in myself, I was able to get lifts in. I didn't need to use the bike every day. I could take it out, you know, when I wanted it, when it was nice out, all that good stuff. I had to get its 10,000k service, which was only like, I don't know, 180 euro. Oil filter, check everything. I also got a new oil cooler put on it, because when I bought it, the oil cooler, the actual fins were just in shit. I think the fellow who I bought this bike from before tracked it a lot, which I'm perfectly fine with once it's maintained, which it seems to be maintained perfectly fine. But I think he loved to spend his time in the gravel, because even the fork legs have you know, stone chips in it, and there's a good few of them which looks a lot like gravel. Because you know, when you go into the gravel, it's not just one stone that flicks up at you, it's a lot of them. So yeah, I think he loved the gravel trap. But even like brake pads and all, you know, I put brand new brake pads on it, and I've done 3 or 4 track days on the brake pads, and you know, they're still probably just under 50% used now, which, you know, no, that's, you know, that's perfectly acceptable, I think. I think from driving to the track, because I would ride my bike, I would actually ride my bike to the track. From riding to the track and then the track day, I think I you know, I would do the equivalent distance, we'll say, and like, you know, braking. I actually don't know what the fuck I'm trying to say. I'd probably do as much braking to and from the track and then on the track as I would if I was commuting. You know, that's maybe, just from the wear, it seems about right. Brake pads are cheap on this bike. If you want them to be EBC double HH, or just HH, not double HH, double H, are you know, they're not too expensive. 40 euro a corner. You know, it's not a lot. And then chain, I had to get new chain sprockets. That was about 250 euro. I got a really good DID. I think it was a VX2 or something along those lines. The VX range is my favorite range of chain. They just last ages. They last so long. You know, they're probably about maybe 100 euro more expensive than your other standard DID chain. Maybe not even 100 euro. But just for the durability of them, they're just, why would you want to go for any other chain, considering, you know, you're gonna have to change the cheaper one a lot sooner than this one. That's my thing when it comes to, so with me and maintenance, and especially when I was dailying my bike, I changed my oil every about 3,000 kilometers, and I changed my filter every second time, just because I wanted to keep the bike in tip-top condition. You know, it's a big thing with me and bike. You know, anyone can afford to own a bike, but maintenance is ridiculously important on a motorbike, more so than a car. You know, I get my car serviced once a year. I get my bike serviced 3 or 4 times a year. You know, I got my oil is, you know, 1,000 kilometers old. I say I'll probably change it. I was going to do it, so actually there was going to be a track day on the 24th of this month, but because of COVID and the way Ireland's been so shit, it's been cancelled. So I would have probably changed the oil after that track day. And you know, it just goes back to the video that I made about track riding and getting your bike prepped for track. Maintenance is a big thing for the road, for the track, for everything. So, you know, don't skip out on your maintenance. And basically the long-winded story of I'm so sorry, I'm actually behind all these cars going so slow. Good God, can't even get a wheelie in because we're all going nice and slow. But pretty much the maintenance on this bike hasn't been any different than any of my other bikes. Nothing has worn out more than the other. And so I say it in all my videos, and I said it in my things I hate and dislike about this bike. The one thing that is the most expensive part of this bike is petrol, and that's why I'm banging the petrol tank. This thing loves to drink petrol. So at the moment I've done 118 kilometers and I'm on half a tank. I normally go to about half a tank around the 100k mark. And I'd say when I get off the bike and turn it back on, I'll be down into the bar. The fuel gauge in this bike's a bit on the shit side. It's very slow and I wouldn't really call it very accurate. But yeah, like petrol is the only thing that's been really expensive on this bike. Like, again, to put it in perspective, if I was commuting on this bike, I would have been selling it. Put it that way. That's how expensive it is. My friend who bought one of these is now selling his. You know, he does about 80 kilometers a day to and from work. It's just a lot of money for petrol. If you drive it like an absolute fairy, you'd get over 200 kilometers in a tank. But then that's all the fun gone out of the bike, so what's the point of having an MT10? So that's expenses and cost. It's going to be a bit more expensive than your regular bike, obviously, being 1,000 and a 30,000 at that. But normal maintenance and all isn't too much different than any other sport bike I've owned. I've owned an R6 ZX6R. I commuted about 500 kilometers a week on one of them, and you know, the maintenance is, you know, it's a bit the same price for both of them. Like, it's not, again, as I said, maintenance for me isn't a big deal because it just has to be done, and I don't really look at maintenance costs on a bike because I'm just going to get it done anyway. And for those who want to know, I don't even do the maintenance myself. I bring it to my mechanic, and especially with this bike being so new and it's under warranty, I bring it to him. Finally, the other question I always get: how do I afford this bike? How can someone so young afford a bike like this? And you know, I want to say, when I first started riding a bike, I had a Hyosung GT125R, cost me €750, and I couldn't afford it. That was when I was in college. So I'm out of college now, and I actually work in IT, and I actually do software testing, software engineer in test. Not necessarily develop, but you know, I do manual software testing, automated stuff. So a bit of a nerd, really. And that's how I afford this stuff. My bills are quite limited. I do, you know, pay bills and stuff, and especially on this bike, you know, loans and fees and shit like that. And I work hard for my money, and I don't spend it on stupid stuff, you know. That's another big thing. You know, I don't have my own car. Me and Mrs. Dragon share a car. We don't owe anything on the car, so we just half everything. But yeah, guys, that is the cost of owning an MT10 and being so young. Again, the biggest thing is insurance, and that probably came as no surprise to anyone. Maybe the price of insurance did. You know, I'm not a new rider. I also have 2 advanced riding certificates under my belt. So, you know, I thought maybe that would bring it down a lot, but they didn't even give a f*** about that. And I am so sorry that I've been stuck behind every slow in the world. That's always my luck with everything video, like. But anyway, guys, I'm gonna end the video here. Again, if you have any questions, let me know. If you want to know anything specific about either riding in general or owning an MT10, again, from the US, I'm not gonna be able to answer a lot of questions because everything about riding in Ireland is completely different. Literally nothing is the same. Literally nothing. But I'm very happy to be quite open and transparent with you guys. I've not hide. No, apart from the old drug dealing I do, but that's nothing. Oh, he is now, no. Damn it. Oh, man. Ow. But anyway, guys, that is the video. Sorry I couldn't do any wheelies, but I done a few nice pulls. They're not really nice, but they're little pulls. Hope I'm enjoyed. Like, comment, and subscribe, and talk to you all in the next video. Also, FYI, for everyone that's watching to this moment, if you're not subscribed, you really need to subscribe now. You've watched this far, so why would you not subscribe? Yeah.